Hello, how are you? I think maybe I'm coming closer to understanding why I've been feeling foolish. But I did want to, before I said anything about that, I did want to report to you that I had my medical appointment today and everything went fine. Uh, Changes were not made in the meds. Questions were not raised regarding my disability. And so my income apparently is going to be left alone, which is nice. What's nicer, though, is that I was given the opportunity to confront that energy in myself. There are things that, absent something like this happening in our lives with our own circumstances, uh, we just can't pull up the energy and take a look at it. It goes too deep, and there's subterranean fear surrounding it. And so it's this push-pull thing. We want to clean up our belief systems, but how to access them is another thing. And this is one very good reason that it's a wise idea that our free will, um, a lot of it is being exercised by our higher dimensional self or selves, our higher self, is helping to make the choices, is guiding us around, is guiding us into certain circumstances and bringing certain things up. There's no cruelty behind this. There is, we've got to stop being afraid of life. If we can open into our heart, if we can allow the heart to flower, the heart chakra to bloom, to open, which is to step out of fear, then we can greet everything that happens in life with love and appreciation and gratitude, um, with no expectation about how it's going to come out or how it needs to come out, just knowing that no matter, it doesn't matter how it comes out, just knowing that whatever it is, it's good. Okay, let me close a program or two here. I notice that there's a lag in my visual and audio. Okay, let me close Skype. Skype is a memory hog. And so if you've ever used it, it's wonderful and it's free. You can communicate, you can video communicate with anyone in the world, but it's a really good idea not to have other things open at the time if you want the best possible experience with it. It's very secure. It encrypts things coming and going. And by the way, folks, you can share files with Skype. You can literally drag and drop any kind of file, any size. There's no size limits. Just leave both computers logged onto the internet and leave Skype open long enough for the file to transfer. And of course, the person has to approve what you're giving them. You can't dump a file on somebody without them saying, okay. Anyway, that was a real out there um, interruption of self. All right, so things went well. I was enabled to confront the fear over my supply, my source of income, and the possible losing of that, which of course, I'd have to sell my land and property here and move into an RV or something in order to try, it doesn't matter though. If we can just go with the flow, if we can say, okay, what's the worst case scenario? And then make friends with it. Make friends with it. Why not? I mean, come on. This is a trip down here. This is a game, a school, however you want to look at it. We're meant to enjoy it. And it's a very short stay. That's the reality. It only seems long to mind. It's not. So it doesn't matter what happens. Some of the finest things in people's lives have come out of them being street people for a while. We just have to be able to make friends with whatever is our worst fear. and keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that, because it doesn't matter what it is. We're the victor. We're greater. There's nothing that can trump you and I. And so I'm grateful. Thank you. I know some of you were helpful to me energetically as I was facing this. It was interesting. All right. Now, I mentioned feeling foolish and wondering what that was about. And I'm beginning to see. I keep talking about being in heart, and I have there's a lot that I talk about. I'd like to say the bulk of what I talk about, I have direct experience of. I'm not teaching from books or anything. Um, and being in heart is very real to me. It's how I live my life, and it's my greatest joy, um, and so on. But what I'm looking at is that, and I'm always talking about, let's get rid of beliefs, let's get rid of beliefs, or whatever beliefs we have, let's hold them lightly, because they color our reality. I mean, they sculpt it. And so it's a really good idea. As a for instance, the Pleiadians through Barbara Marciniak have taught that it's really important. You might call this the law of attraction. I'm not sure that they did, but determine that life for you is going to be safe. Life for you is going to be abundant. There's going to be no fear. There's going to be no suffering. And believe it. And it creates your life. That they try to share with us that we are much more the creators of our lives than we realize. And if we're continually focusing on the things that are wrong with life, wrong with the world, wrong with people, wrong with whatever, the government, you name it, we're only feeding that, and we're creating it. We're binding ourselves to it. What we resist persists. And so I did want to share with you that it was helpful to me to affirm that I am cared for by source, by spirit, that Earth is a loving environment in spite of the way things look sometimes, and that the outcome was only beneficial and positive. And I called on my soul group and the family of light for aid and assistance. I had an early conference with the doctor out of body that she wasn't aware of. And, you know, it could have turned out differently. Maybe it's so that there are all these parallel universes that for at every choice point, all of the lines exist for all of the choices that could possibly be made. And maybe we're wending our way through something like that. Who the heck knows? I mean, from 3D or 4D where we are now, we really aren't above that enough to see it clearly. So I continue to say anything is possible. I think that's the best idea to have, because that doesn't close you down to anything. That has a real tendency to open opportunity and possibility for you. The belief that literally anything is possible. I'm ready to be seeing through walls. I'm ready to be levitating. I'm ready to be shining and bright and radiant like a sun or a star. Why not? We're energy beings. Anything is possible. And atoms are empty space. And so what we're seeing here is truly a hologram. It's truly an illusion. And it's very important, and it's not. I mean, whatever. You've heard me say all these things. Okay, back to the foolishness. Here's the what I'm finding is the source of that. I talk about getting rid of beliefs, and yet I have beliefs and I've been upfront with them, I think, all the way through. And the foundation that I have chosen for my beliefs is made up quite a bit of what is Patricia Corey's work. Um, Alex Collier, Muji. Well, he doesn't really have any beliefs, but Corey does. Collier, if you believe what he's saying, this is funny, then it's not a matter of beliefs because he's not a channeler. He's a direct face-to-face contactee who's had these direct experiences. And if you can accept that the Andromedans exist, they are who they say they are, they are a really good source of information because they are the closest I think that we're going to get to a disinterested party. They have much less direct karma with us, for instance, than the Syrians do or than the Pleiadians do. Um, they're still one of the races that's in our genetics, in our genes. According to the Andromedans, we have 22 different races of beings that combine to form our DNA. And of course, as Alex says, this is what makes our DNA so desirable to so many ET races, whether it's from too much genetic inbreeding or what the case is. Our genes hold the key to the actual regeneration of some races that are dying out, and so on and so on and so on. So, but what I wanted to say was I'm just stepping back farther now, and I'm seeing clearly there are beliefs in what the Andromedans say. There are beliefs in what the Syrians say through these two people. And to a somewhat lesser extent, there is also, I like the work of Barbara Marciniak. There are Pleiadians and then there are Pleiadians. Well, the same is true of the Syrians. There are 3 stars in the Syrian system. And so to say someone is Syrian, those are stars. Each star has multiple planets. So we have different races of beings that we're dealing with. And so there are those that are more evolved and those that are less evolved. You know, there are those that are in service to self and there are those that are in service to others. So I think we pick and we choose as best we can when we're formulating our beliefs or our understanding. And then we run everything by the heart. We run it through heart. We drop it into heart. Now, I've tried a lot of things on over time, and more I'm finding myself deserting understandings that I used to believe in. I think as long as we hold things lightly like that, as long as we're willing to let them go, um, then that's okay. That's not a bad belief. Um, so anyway, I just wanted to share with you. Maybe that's all that's coming for right now. I did put up the Alex Collier lecture, and I hope that it's permitted to stay. It's a good one. My video skills are not yet sufficiently advanced, and so toward the end of both part one and part two, the video and the audio get a little bit out of sync, and I don't know what does that, but it's valuable, it's vital, it's not as present out there on the net, and you know, the more the word gets out, the better. We don't have to believe everything someone says. Alex agrees with me. There's nobody that has the whole truth. Nobody. He's the first to admit that not him, you know. And so when I speak, I don't ask for anyone's belief either. I just think we're having a group conversation here, and it's good to get ideas out on the table and be open to what everyone has to say about them and not to get so polarized with one another. We are the rainbow people, you know. There's no more prejudice. There's no more room for that. We are the one. We are all brethren. I don't care if we're talking the races, I believe, from Cassiopeia are insectoid. So we have beings perhaps that look like a praying mantis. So what? That's our brethren, that's our brother. You know, all sentient races and beings, we're all one. We all exist in a sea of love and beauty, so intense, but we have to open into it. We have to open up to it. And as long as we're fear based, we're not going to be doing that. Um, Fear is that which holds us down perhaps more than anything else. And a prejudice is a form of fear. Uh, it's a non opening to our brother, our brethren. As a for instance, look at the situation, not just with Keisha Crowther, but let's just look at the situation with the Native Americans. Um, in its own way, it is similar to the situation with the African Americans, where there was great abuse of a people, and then the people assimilated into the society. And yet, a lot of people still retain a very big chip on the shoulder that is very, very prejudiced against white people. And what I would like to say in the midst of that whole situation is, first of all, we're brethren and we're one. And second of all, you who are Native American, you who are of the black races that may be currently prejudiced against the white race and be carrying this chip on your shoulder, please realize that you may well exist right now in other lifetimes where you are the oppressor. None of us are lily white. None of us are better than our fellow man. And the very finest of spirituality and wisdom teachings reminds us of this. And I think reincarnation is a very good way to get over all of our non forgiveness, all of our holier than thou, all of our thinking that we're right and someone else is wrong, because we've all been there and we've all done that. We've been the murderer and the thief and the druggie and the abuser. We've been it all. We've done it all. And so, can we not come to the point of oneness in heart and just join together in love? We can let all of that go, my friends. We really can transcend it. And the way we do it, in my understanding, is through heart. Love and light to all of us. We are the Rainbow Warriors. Good day.